Jens, looking back at the midweek cup exit, have you had further time to look back at everything, such an eventful day, and what are your thoughts on it now as we sit here?
Yeah, of course. I think just the most important thing is to look forward, because we're out of that competition. There were some circumstances that we could control, and then something that we couldn't. And I think we dealt well with whatever came our way and tried our best. But it obviously became a very, very difficult situation for us a few minutes into the second half, because I had a really good feeling and I was convinced that we were going to get back into the game and score at least one goal in the second half, 10v10. But then obviously the situation changed.
Did you speak to Willie Collum over the last few
No,
days?
I haven't spoken to him. I don't need to speak to him. I think I've mentioned that before. If I have to go and speak to Willie all the time, then what's the point in that? Then it's usually because there's been something. We do everything we can here to improve our level and our ability to perform, and I expect the referees and all other parts in Scottish football to do the same. Brian might have had contact with him. I actually haven't heard back because doesn't make sense now. I don't need anyone else to tell me it was a big mistake. I've had a lot of people coming up to me and say what happened there. I say I can't tell you because I'm just as shocked as you are. And I've seen it back, obviously, many times, and I cannot find anything in there that gives any reason for the VAR referee to call him to the monitor. So done is done. We can't do anything about it. It's extremely frustrated, or it was. We put that behind us now. We look forward to playing tomorrow, and that little about us, not getting what we felt we could get the other day. We'll have to take that out on St Mirren tomorrow.
Are you expecting that, what you just said there, get knocked out of the cup, are you expecting that to be used as a positive, Jens, for the rest of the season? You can fully focus on it, you can try and catch the team ahead of you.
We could easily have focused fully on both tournaments, but now we only participate in one going forward, and then obviously we'll focus on that. So it's not like it's suddenly an advantage. But we have to focus on that now, and that's what we'll do. I think there's evidence enough for this team to be really, really good at taking the knocks and the harsh lessons we've learned along the way, and using them to our advantage and to grow and to improve. And that's what we're going to do now. At least we have some experience playing 10v10 and 9v10 and a little bit more playing 10v11. And who knows? It might be useful in the last part of the season.
Can I ask you, Jens, about VAR in general? How do you feel it's being worked here in Scotland? We've had, the incident on Wednesday with the second Motherwell red card. It's the fourth similar incident in recent weeks. All of them have had the same outcome with a red card. That's consistency. I'm trying to be devil's advocate here. Does that mean they're being consistently wrong? Because they do seem to be pretty subjective, these decisions.
Look, I think I have to look at all the incidents at the same time and see them thoroughly before I can share my opinion on that. I haven't analyzed all the incidents in depth. Obviously, our own, yes. And I think it's unfortunate that they have gotten some of them, or at least the one I saw the other night wrong. But I think we're all trying our best and doing what we can. And in general, I think it's more about raising the level and everything we do. I don't blame the system, because I think the system is good, and it has been and it has proved useful many times. But obviously, as I said, I know there are good discussions, and we are also part of these discussions on how to improve, and what both the the incidents themselves, but also the line and the consistency. And it's a good and open and fair discussion where the opinions from the clubs gets taken into consideration as well, trying to move forward. And we have a long history of more than 100 years of experience working without VAR. VAR in the whole history of football is still relatively new. And I think we will see improvements in the years to come, both in terms of how to use it, but also the decisions itself.
Yeah, a couple of managers I've spoken to have felt, obviously the players are professional, they're full time, they're dedicated to their job. Referees, however, are part-time, and they only, although they do the training during the week, they have other jobs as well. Would it help having full-time officials who are possibly even on a weekly basis working with the clubs, trying to engage with the players a little bit more during training and maybe enlightening them more as to why they're making these decisions?
Look, I'm without a doubt, it would help that they've freed up more time to analyze, to study, to discuss, and to both the situation but the game itself. I think the communication with the clubs are, as I understand, okay. You don't have to speak or see the referee every day, but I think there's a willingness to be open and transparent about a lot of things, which I think is fruitful. But obviously, a lot of things happened with football when back then when the players became full-time professionals or even part-time. And I'm sure it would benefit the referees as well, and I think many of them would agree that if they had more time to study and to discuss more details, see this situation, evaluate even more, then we would probably see more improvement and sharper decisions along the way, as also counts for us.
It's been a terrific season in the league for Motherwell. How do you ensure that those decisions, that result on Wednesday night, doesn't dampen the players' enthusiasm for what could be still a fantastic season for this club?
Well, we do that by staying true to who we are. We are a team that accepts that giving the ball away or missing a tackle or by trying our best will happen, and then we just react quick and repair. And we are also a team that try to accept as good as we can, even though sometimes it's frustrating that things will happen we cannot control, and then we deal with that, like getting a man down or getting a goal against us that we think is unfair, or getting a goal chopped off that we thought was legit, and then we deal with it and then we move on immediately without getting drawn into an emotional state of performance. And that's what we do every day, every game, and that's why it's now we are talking about what happened the other day, but I'm trying not to, because we haven't spent time on it in with the players, looking back at the incidents, looking at why and so on. We've accepted it, and we look forward. That's what we can do.
It's interesting you mentioned the emotional state, because football for the fans are games of emotions. Do you try and park that to the side? It's difficult not to have that emotional state.
No, look, we do play with emotions. And we want to be a team that creates an emotional state outside and lifts the enthusiasm and the energy. But we just want the right emotions. I've mentioned that before. Frustration, anger, fear is not fruitful emotions for us to perform the way we want to perform. So we need composure, joy, some natural, good, healthy aggressiveness, bravery. These things are extremely important for us in able to perform at our best. So that's what we try to make room for and make sure that other emotions don't take over for too long.
What emotions will you have tomorrow in Paisley?
Excitement, joy, a little bit of that feeling that we still have that little bit feeling of revenge against them, even though we beat them here last time. But it's a team that we've had some really tough and hard games against them, and it's usually very tricky games for both teams, and we know that they're just even though they've had a difficult run, it's just a difficult team to play against because they work so hard. They are usually well organized, and they know when the moments in the football game comes, and they go all in these moments, and that's where we need to be extremely sharp.
Team news? Who's in? You got Stephen Welsh back. Obviously.
Stephen Welsh is back. Lucas is out, serving his last day of suspension. Besides that, I think everyone is it's the same as last week. So and then at least Oscar is fresh. So now Lucas is out, so we'll try and turn that into a positive.
Yeah, as you look back at the previous cup disappointment against St Mirren, I mean, that was a similarly huge disappointment. You've had a chance to go to the final, but the way the team bounced back from that was really impressive. The league form actually improved. And do you sense the same sort of determination to make the most of the league season now, to really put Wednesday's result aside and just even more determined?
Yeah, and yes, of course, but we would have had the same determination to do that, even though we had succeeded in beating Aberdeen the other day. But yes, we know we have a big job ahead of us. We know we're in a good position. We know we're in a good place as a football club. No, the result and how things turned out the other way, taking into consideration, we've paid some bills for some harsh lessons along the way. But it's, as I've said before, we probably wouldn't have been here where we are now if we haven't had some of the tough experiences we've had along the way, the being 3-0 up at Hearts, playing fantastically, and then suddenly, boom, you're 3-0. You've lost that lead, and you almost lose the game at the end. Some decisions along the way, which happens to all team, but you feel, why did that go against us? And then obviously the game the other night, and the game you are so kind to keep mentioning. But sometimes you really learn, and you really develop, and you really push these buttons you need to push. That can sometimes be a little bit harder to identify when everything's going your way. And I think the team has been extremely good with the staff and the club to keep